Before NLP, I was stuck in self-doubt. After learning it, helped me shift my mindset and speak with confidence. So before NLP, I was a very shy and introverted person. Actually, in fact, I still am. But before this, I was very afraid of looking at people in the eyes. If you ask me what was my biggest fear, I think it's public speaking, because if you throw me to speak in front of people, I would be the first one to run away. I don't even dare to look at people in the eyes. So that was me before. But after taking up NLP, I've learned to deal with people's judgments, people's perception, because along the way I learned about that people's thoughts and people's judgments are things that I can't control. But NLP taught me something about how do I look at myself, what kind of mindset do I need to have in order for me to feel confident about myself. Basically, it's about feeling I am enough. It's about feeling I'm worthy. And I found that when I learned about NLP. So fast forward a few years after I've took up the NLP training, and I've actually applied it in my life, whether if it's at work, whether if it's relationship with people, my friends, my family, my loved ones, even my colleagues. And I start to notice my confidence level increase, because as I apply those tools, I notice I communicate with people better. Today, I'm able to stand in front of a crowd and actually conduct a class, a training while engaging with people. Looking at people in the eyes no longer scares me. I still feel that nervousness, but the difference now is I know how to manage it in a very calm and collected manner. So that's what NLP has helped me. And I would say it's all about the confidence. So before I take up NLP, I actually attended a lot of communication related classes, because at that time I was in the process of learning how to become an effective trainer. And the number one big fear for me was still public speaking. That's the irony. But of course, the communication classes, the public speaking classes I've attended, they helped in certain ways, but there was still that fear inside of me. And I just happened to bump into someone at an event, and somehow this person recommended me and said, hey, why don't you try out NLP? And so since that moment, NLP has been stuck in my head for quite some time, until eventually it sparked that interest and I start searching about it. And that's when I came across Ashton, and without any hesitation, I just decided to sign up for it, because that's the first thing that pops up. And yeah, that's what made me decide to take up NLP, because I simply want to find a more effective way to improve my level of confidence. I would say just one word: magical. Because when I did the class, everything just felt magical. And I also understood one thing, where the process is there are certain tools, but what made a difference was when I decided to trust the process and just allow whatever happens in between to just come along. And true enough, when I decided to trust, it worked magically. So there are certain things that I discovered along the way during the 5 days of the class, and things that I wasn't aware of. But Kiki actually helped to bring that to awareness. And the powerful thing is NLP helps to create that awareness. And once we have that awareness, right, it's very easy to work on it, because now it's clear what are the things that I need to work on. And clearly, the reason why I was having still confidence issues after attending so many communication classes is simply because I still have that lingering voice inside that keeps on telling me I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. And when I discovered that part of me, it actually made it easier for me to work on my confidence. So I would say the whole process is just magical, because if I look back, I cannot actually describe what happened, but it just happened. And of course today, with the tools that I've learned from NLP, it actually made me more confident than I was before. Yes, I remember a very significant moment, and I would say it is during the part where we were talking about anchoring. I think for me, out of the whole 5 days of the course that I've attended, the most memorable one for me is anchoring. That's the most interesting part for me, because I was very intrigued by how when we anchor ourselves in certain things, it actually can evoke certain kinds of feelings and emotions. So it was a perfect tool for me to work on my confidence, because even until today, I still feel very nervous and anxious each time I start my classes, my training sessions, or even if it's to go up on stage and just do a 5-minute speech. I still feel that nervousness, that anxiousness. But that anchoring tool actually helped me to overcome that anxiousness. It's still there, but somehow at the same time I could use that anxiousness and turn it into motivation and excitement instead. So it's basically helping me to rewire my thoughts so that I focus on the positive side, I focus on the values, rather than focusing on, oh, I can't do this. What if I screw this up? What if I forget my lines? Instead of thinking about that, I rewired and reminded myself, I'm here to create value, I'm here to engage, I'm here to create entertainment. So these are the things that I start to tell myself now, and it's all simply because of an anchoring tool that I've picked up. Well, I would say 3 words. It's fun, it's exciting, it's engaging. I've always been very skeptical, when it comes to attending trainings, because most of the time it's very lecture based. But training with Kiki, it's different. Everything is very practical. Yes, there is the theory part, but there wasn't a day where I felt boring, because every piece of knowledge is related to our daily lives. Even when it comes to the way we communicate, even when it comes to the way we show up, in terms of our body language, the way we look at people, the way we present ourselves. So it's very interesting and exciting to learn about all these little details, which normally I wouldn't even pay attention to. But with this awareness, it makes interaction with people much more interesting. And yes, of course, with Kiki being the trainer, she made everything just simply fun and engaging. There were laughters, there were times where we tried out some tools, and then there were some funny moments that happened, and everyone just had a very big laugh. So these are the parts where I really enjoyed, because it didn't feel like a class at all. It just felt like a session where a group of friends sit together and exchange knowledge, and I've learned a lot from those moments. Yeah. Well, if there are things that you want to work on in life, be it the relationships you have with people, be it I want to feel confident about myself, I want to improve the way I communicate, I want to work on a career goal, I want to work on a dream I have, NLP is one of the perfect ways to start, because it really teaches us about how we think, right? Every single thing we do, it's actually based on how we think. And NLP helps to bring that thought into awareness. And here's the powerful thing about that kind of awareness. Because if we really go deep into the areas of NLP, we will learn about what's conscious mind, what's the subconscious mind. And the power in NLP lies in us accessing our subconscious mind, which is thoughts that normally we wouldn't be aware of. But once you bring it to awareness, powerful things can happen, right? You can be someone who is very afraid to talk to people, but once you are aware what are the things that are holding you back and you actually decide to work on it, you can immediately turn into someone who speaks confidently. If you have relationships that you want to work with, like I have relationship with my partner, with my mom, with my dad, with my kids, and things doesn't seem to be working. How come? Well, NLP also teaches us how to assess the way we communicate to certain detail, the words we use, and through using the right words at the right time to the right people, we can actually create possibilities in improving our communication and eventually relationships with people. And NLP helps to do that. So there are many things that we can work on, and that is why I believe everyone should at least have the knowledge of what is NLP all about and how to practically apply in our lives.